JBN, we keep you informed. 26-year-old St. man charged with gun possession and robbery. Detectives have charged 26-year-old O'Shane SAWP, a laborer of Green Bay, Steertown, St. Ann, with illegal possession of a gun and ammunition and robbery with aggravation. According to the police, SAWP's arrest stems from an incident which occurred at Mammy Bay in the parish on Tuesday, December 17. It is reported that the complainants were touring sections of the island about 3 p.m. when they were robbed of belongings, including cell phones, watches, and other items at gunpoint. Following investigation, SAWP was arrested and later charged after he was positively identified in an identification parade. The police said his court date is being finalized. 2 Trelawney men held on gun charge. 2 men on Wednesday, January 1 were arrested and charged with illegal possession of a gun and ammunition at New Hope, SAWP, in Trelawney, the police have reported. Charged are 36-year-old Leighton Johnson, otherwise called Pepsi, and 25-year-old Henry Marquest, otherwise called Raga Mason, both of New Hope District in the parish. According to the Ulster Spring Police, lawmen were in the area about 1 a.m. when they saw Johnson and Marquest, who were among a group of people at a stall. All members of the group were searched and a 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 5 9mm rounds of ammunition was taken from Johnson's waistband. Johnson allegedly claimed that the gun belonged to Marquest, who gave him to hold so that he could use a restroom. Both men were subsequently arrested and charged. Their court dates have not yet been finalized, the police said. 5 men charged for breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act. The Narcotics Police have charged 5 men with the seizure of over 2,000 pounds of ganja, jointly charged with the offences of possession of ganja, dealing in ganja, taking preparatory steps to export ganja, use of conveyance and conspiracy are Carl Manderson, a 29-year-old fisherman of Elsha St. Catherine, Mark Pitt, a 45-year-old fisherman of Burnt Savannah, St. Elizabeth, Gerald Carey, a 39-year-old mason of Thompsontown, Clarendon, Rudolph Bennett, 40, of Tuphill, St. Elizabeth, Aldane Summon, a 25-year-old farmer of Rocky Hill, St. Elizabeth. Police reports are that on Saturday, December 28, 2019, about 5:50 a.m., the Jamaica Defence Force Coast Guard intercepted a vessel approximately 20 miles south of Morant Bay, St. Thomas, with the 5 accused men on board. The vessel was searched and 44 knitted plastic bags containing compressed ganja were found. The weight was determined to be approximately 2,353 pounds with an estimated street value of $9,412,000. They are scheduled to appear in the St. Thomas Parish Court on January 8. Community and colleagues mourn loss of jovial firefighter. Family, friends, and colleagues of Sheldon Henry, the 34-year-old fireman who died tragically in a motor vehicle crash on the Macook's Pen Main Road on New Year's Day, described the public servant as a hard worker who was jovial and kept those around him happy. Yesterday was a dark day for those who knew Henry, as it came as a shock that the kind and cheerful friend and father would only spend a day with loved ones in 2020. Jamaica Fire Brigade JFB Acting District Officer Joseph Ray said that Henry's colleagues at the Old Harbour Division, where he was assigned, were sporting a brave face. We are saddened, but putting out the best because we are here to serve the public. He was a hard worker. Nobody could be down when he was around. He would always find something to make you laugh. He is gone too soon, a somber Ray said. Ray said the community they served had shown tremendous support to the firefighters since the tragedy. Henry had served the JFB for little more than 7 years. A cook shop operator who provided meals for Henry during his time in the Old Harbour said that she remembered him as a cheerful person who loved his music. The last time I saw him was Christmas Eve. They were moving from this location to the new one. He told us that he would come back and buy us a drink, the woman said. Reports said that Henry had just left work when he met in an accident along the Macook's Pen Main Road. According to reports from the police, his death marked the first road fatality of 2020. Last year, 432 lives were lost owing to motor vehicle accidents, a 26-year high, tailgating 1993's historic figure of 434. Henry's mother and sister were too distraught to speak when they were visited at their home on St. John's Road in Spanish Town. Plunged into mourning, Henry's mother would only bellow from the veranda, "Can't believe Sheldon gone, can't believe him gone." A childhood friend, Andrew Reed, said that Sheldon was a good friend and father to his two sons. "I know he wanted to be a better father than his father, even though he didn't have a father for much of his adult lives. You look up to a lot of other fathers. He is going to be missed." Former Commissioner of the JFP, Frederick White, visited the family home to express his condolences and provide support to the family. "I knew him personally. I recommended him to join the JFP. It is sad," White said. According to the police, 5 people, including another firefighter and a policeman, were injured in the accident. Reports are that Henry left work and was driving to Spanish Town. About 11:30 p.m., he overtook a line of traffic and collided with a truck in the vicinity of Marcook's Pen. Henry was the sole occupant in his Mitsubishi Lancer. The driver of the truck lost control of the vehicle and crashed into 2 cars. Henry's family, however, has refuted claims that he was at fault during the fatal crash. Assistant Superintendent of the JFP, Patrick Gooden, said that the JFP met with Henry's family. The Commissioner, myself, and the Welfare Department visited the family and will be providing support right to the burial and after, Gooden said. First batch of farm workers leave on the farm work program for 2020. Although this is the first time that 24-year-old Shaquille Medley will be traveling overseas, what he'll be required to do may not be entirely foreign to him, as he currently helps his father to do farming on the plains of St. Elizabeth, where he is from. Medley is one of 228 workers who were dispatched yesterday to take up employment opportunities under the Seasonal Agricultural Works Program SAWP in Ontario, Canada, in areas such as Leamington, Bradford, Milton, Tilsonburg, and St. Thomas. The farmer and part-time welder is hoping that this opportunity will be life-changing. "I am a very young person, so business-wise, it can help me and my family," he said yesterday in an interview less than an hour before boarding a bus bound for the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston, indicating that he was prepared for the anticipated harsh winter conditions. Medley was scheduled to leave for Canada yesterday afternoon, intends to make the most of the opportunity. "I plan to go in and work very hard so that I can get another request, so I can reach this money age and hopefully I can go even longer than him," he said, referring to the oldest participant, 63-year-old Maurice Plummer. Plummer was recognized as the oldest participant of the batch during the send-off activities yesterday, said that the SAWP has enabled him to support his family, having first participated in the program in 1989. Recounting his first experience in the 53-year-old farmer program, the farmer and mason, who hails from Malvern, St. Elizabeth, said that it was by chance that he was able to participate in the initiative. "Well, it was a challenge. I get the card and a medical and I come up here. I never get no call for fly, but I say I want to come up here and check out if my time come to go to Canada. And I come, and them say it's not my time, but a flight going out that same day. So if every man don't come, they'll put me in that space. And that's what happened," he said. The senior citizen is encouraging others to join the program, saying that it could be a great opportunity. "I would encourage them because it's a big opportunity to start in life. So yes, I would encourage anyone to try it. I encourage enough youngsters in my area," Plummer said. The SAWP, part of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's Overseas Employment Program, recruits workers who are engaged in planting fruits and vegetables, greenhouse flowers, tobacco, as well as working in factories, nurseries, and orchards. Experts warn public to be wary of consuming gully beans. Jamaicans are being warned not to eat susumba berries, more popularly called susumba or gully beans, that appear underdeveloped or deformed, as these could be poisonous and potentially deadly. The call was made last week by Sharika Whitelock Balancing, Poison Information Coordinator at the Caribbean Poison Information Network, CARPIN. She noted a string of Susumba poisoning cases, including overseas victims, to whom the berries were sent by loved ones in Jamaica. Over the past 5 years in Jamaica, there have been sporadic causes of Susumba poisoning through the consumption of different species. The first recorded case of Susumba poisoning in Jamaica goes as far back as the 19th century, said Whitelock Balancing, adding that the cases reportedly stemmed from mixing variations of the berry. Other cases of poisoning associated with Jamaicans were seen in Toronto, Florida, and New York in 2003, 2004, and 2006 respectively. Family members were hospitalized after the consumption of Susumba that were taken from Jamaica as part of their cultural dish experience, she continued, outlining that though Susumba is quite bitter, it is the highlight of ackee and saltfish dishes for some Jamaicans. Last October, Whitelock Balancing said a Jamaican man came close to death after eating the beans and later falling ill during his sleep. He got up to go to the bathroom and could not sit by himself on the toilet. He couldn't move, his tongue got heavy, and his hands couldn't move. They actually had to lift him into the taxi, said Whitelock Balancing, noting that outside of examining the leaf, it is very difficult to determine what types of Susumba beans are safe to consume. That individual was treated and released, but Whitelock Balancing is concerned that there are others who may have suffered more serious complications, but their cases have gone underreported. Some victims experience a lack of muscle coordination, slurred speech, facial paralysis, and respiratory failure, which are often mistaken for a stroke, she said, adding that the symptom usually occur hours after ingestion. What we are comparing now is the different cases because one person might be slightly affected by this one and the other affected by another one. We're also trying to look at the Jamaican cases overseas, she said, noting that to date, no study has been done of the toxicity of local variations of the Susumba plant. Against that background, she and her colleague Karen Campbell of the Institute of Jamaica have embarked on a probe to help shed light on the more than 21 species found locally. We're not sure if it has to do with maturity. We're not sure if it has to do with the species or the exact toxins in them. But we know there are poisonous ones in Jamaica, and that is what we're trying to find out, she said. The only way to identify it is how the berry looks on the plant. You can't look on the berry itself and know if it is poisonous, unless it is underdeveloped, she said, noting that all the local variants of Susumba look alike. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.